I spent 100 days in Minecraft Pixelmon, but before time runs out, I'll have to try and complete 5 difficult challenges, including catch a shiny Pokemon, obtain 8 gym badges, catch a legendary Pokemon, defeat a mega boss, and register an enormous 200 Pokemon in my Pokedex. Could I complete all of these challenges in just 100 days? Well, let's find out. Day 1. The first decision is picking my starter from the huge selection here. Let me know in the comments who you would pick, but for me, I decided to leave it up to fate with a dice roll. Ah, what do you know, it came up Charmander. That's so lucky. We spawned into a fresh new Pixelmon world, and like any Pokemon game, I needed a rival. But I'm playing single player, so I had to settle for a battle with this Pikachu. Oh. Day 1 and my Charmander is already dead. Good start. I won't forget this. I had to heal Charmander, so wandered around until I found a Pokemon Center. No one was home, so I stole everything. Finders keepers, baby. Once Charmander was resurrected, I continued exploring, but my hunger was starting to get low, and Charmander was looking like a snack. Luckily for Charmander though, soon after I found a village. This was going to be my home for 100 days. I was living out Brock's dream by placing my bed inside the Pokemon Center with Nurse Joy. I guess we live together now? By the way, there's a shiny Pokemon that I completely missed while playing that I only spotted when looking back at the footage. It's in the video somewhere, so let me know in the comments if you can spot it. This village has a small farm inside it, so I mercilessly raided their crops. There's also a shop here, and okay, $200 for a Pokeball is steep. Let me just check my balance, and never mind, I guess. I love Zubat so much. Sometimes I venture into caves just to get hundreds of little Zubat hugs. You sicken me. I found a Miltank next to the village, and my god, just look at those udders gracefully bouncing in the wind. Nature really is beautiful. At least, it was beautiful, until the Miltank used its udders to slap my Charmander in a single shot. After healing Charmander, again, I was ready to begin day 3, and surely my luck would turn around. Oh, come on! Well, since I can't even beat a little rat, I turned my attention towards gathering resources. To complete my goals, I would need a lot of Pokeballs, and to get those, I would need to find the materials to make them. First up, I got wood and made a few basic tools before collecting some free cobblestone that was just sitting here. Don't mind me, just borrowing your wall. With this stone, I could craft a furnace to bake some potatoes, which will keep me well fed for my 100 days. What? No, go away, these are mine!
Who's that Pokemon?
If you're a fan of Pokemon games, you'll enjoy the sponsor of this video, Bloodline Heroes of Lithos, where new legends will be born. This is a brand new, free-to-play fantasy mobile game that is packed with content. You collect a roster of awesome champions, power them up, and use them to battle. But this game is unique, because you can create your own champions. By marrying different bloodlines, you can produce heirs with unique traits that best suit your roster. This lets you forge your own path with seemingly endless possibilities. On top of that, Bloodline has a bunch of extra features like building your kingdom, making decisions in the Senate, and even managing the economy to build up your income. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. The characters in Bloodline have awesome designs, like Karg, the Dragonborn, who you can get for free just by logging in. And like Karnas the werewolf. There's also the companions, like Fulgur the demigod, and the heirs they produce like this one, a half Dragonborn, half demigod that you can get in-game for free and raise to be a champion on your roster. So start your adventure in Bloodline Heroes of Lithos today for free by downloading it with my link in the description or the QR code on screen. And as a special bonus, use this code to get a free champion token and some extra loot in-game. I enjoy the game, and I'm sure you will too. Thanks to the team over at Bloodline for helping to support the channel.
Charmander.
Next, I headed underground, collecting a ton of iron, since that's what we need to craft the butt of the Pokeball. On the way, I came across this stranded, lost Magikarp just flopping around in the bottom of the cave. This is my chance. Magikarp is one of the worst Pokemon out there. Surely my Charmander can beat it. Alright, Magikarp, not bad. Charmander, use Scratch. Oh, come on! I had to teach Magikarp a lesson for embarrassing me like that. So I buried it in a stone tomb. Any last words, Magikarp?
Gorp, 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 gorp.
I'll see you in hell. F's in the chat for Magikarp. I continued collecting resources into day 4, but finally I found a fitting challenger for Charmander. A level 5 Whismur. It was a hard-fought battle between two prize fighters exchanging blows, but with a second Ember, Charmander had finally gotten a win, and the experience from burning Whismur alive had raised us to level 6. Progress. Oh, and that Whismur was holding gunpowder for some reason. What on earth was it planning to do with that? After returning to the surface, by smelting the iron I found, I could upgrade my tools and give myself some fresh new kicks. Now it was day 5 and I still hadn't caught any Pokemon, so we really had to work on getting Pokeballs. I explored the surrounding area, looking for apricorns that we need to farm to build the tip of the Pokeball. Along the way, I beat up the poor suckers who were actually weaker than my Charmander, which got us a few extra levels. They see me rolling. Ew, a Chikorita, easily the worst starter. Imagine picking this as your favorite. I was still looking for apricorns when our first legendary spawned, and if we can catch it, we'd already be beating one of our goals. Except I don't have any Pokeballs. Obviously, Cobalion slapped me around. I tried to send it to the glue factory with an axe as revenge, but that did nothing. You win this round. Disheartened, I headed back to the village to plant my apricorns, and then this happened. A shiny Sentret, and it's only day 5. But I still had no Pokeballs. However, I had an idea. I'm right next to the village, and remember, the mart sells Pokeballs. While I don't have any money, I can sell some of my items so that I can afford to buy some balls. Now, I just head back to the shiny Sentret and... Wait, where is it? It despawned? Are you kidding me? This challenge is cursed. Shiny Pokemon are so rare, and that could be my only chance to catch one. It felt like there was no way I'd be able to complete all of my goals with things going this poorly, but I had to push on. On day 6, I continued hunting for apricorns to build my farm while grinding against wild Pokemon. Charmander was getting stronger, so now we could defeat more Pokemon, which made leveling much quicker. Although, I realized that our Charmander's tail doesn't have any flame, which, according to the anime, means our Charmander should be dead. But somehow, it's still alive, and by day 7, Charmander reached level 16 and evolved into a Charmeleon. Still no flame though. I spent the next 2 days growing and expanding our apricorn farm since I'm going to need a ton of them. But after harvesting the fruits of my labor and roasting the apricorns in a furnace, we can finally make some Pokeball discs. We have to slap the discs with a hammer on an anvil, just like how you should slap the like and subscribe buttons. Once that's taken care of, we can finally craft some Ultra Balls and Quick Balls. Only took me 8 days. On day 9, I decided to go on a quest to find some Pokemon to add to the team. Oh my god, the bee barrel is floating! Praise be to Jesus bee barrel. That bee barrel is clearly far too powerful to catch, so I won't bother trying. I continued my search until I found this derpy Pidgeotto flying into the side of a mountain just doing donuts. It must have already been weak from slamming its head into the wall, because all it took was a single quick ball to catch it. With that, we doubled our team size and caught our first wild Pokemon. Although disappointingly, we can't fly on Pidgeotto despite the fact I literally just watched it fly. Come on, get in the ball, you stupid slowpoke. Come on! Finally, I found this boss Zorua and felt pretty confident that our improved team had a chance to take it down. Boy, was I wrong. It was level 42 and slapped me around. I had to stumble around until I found a Pokemon Center, but once I healed up, our hunt could continue. And then I spotted one of my favorite Pokemon, Skarmory, but it was flying at speed. I immediately chased after it. Skarmory was about to fly out over the ocean where I wouldn't be able to follow, so I only had one chance, one opportunity to catch it. I charged up my golden arm, ready to throw the best Pokeball of my life, and the one that got away. I found this cool boat, and since no one was home, I plundered it like a pirate, even taking their computer and using it to subscribe to my favorite YouTuber. I took some furniture and a super rod before watching the sun rise as day 11 began. And right away, a Latias spawned, and oh, well, there it goes, I guess. The other one that got away. Things had not been going well, but that was all about to change as I found a Krabby. It may not be the strongest Pokemon, but it is one of my favorites. Its cry sounds like it's saying cookie. Here, listen. we caught Krabby, and now we had 5 Pokemon registered in our Pokedex. We definitely had to pick up the pace as time was ticking. I was excited to catch a Makuhita since I love this guy, but then was even more excited when a Hariyama spawned right behind it. It's a big boy with some crazy jump height. With some luck, I was able to catch it, giving our team a huge upgrade since it was at level 38. And with our new power, I decided to take on this boss Magikarp. It's a really high level, however, since it only uses Splash, Hariyama was able to turn that fish into sushi. Although the rewards kinda sucked. Hariyama's reign of terror continued as we found a level 20 trainer in the woods, and it was time for our debut battle. But since we're at a much higher level, this was pretty easy. Although it did feel nice to win something for a change. So I beat up the trainer and took their lunch money. Okay, Slowpoke, it's your time to shine. Carry me to the Pokemon Center. Fine, I'll do it myself. But then this happened. We found a legendary Zamazenta, but catching it was a different story entirely. I mean, it's a legendary and at level 70. I kept throwing balls, but was having no luck. However, I wasn't going to give up. I'd sink all my balls into this Zamazenta if I had to. I failed and failed and failed until... boom! Just like that, we caught a Zamazenta. That was so lucky, and I never would have thought that the first goal we'd complete would be catching a legendary. It's so beautiful. What's more, we can even ride on Zamazenta, so this will speed up our traveling. That was a very successful trip, but since I'd used most of my Pokeballs, it was time to head back to the village. I had to travel over 1,000 blocks, but this was pretty quick on Zamazenta's back. Once I got home, I redecorated my house with the furniture I'd borrowed from the ship. Home sweet home. I was harvesting some crops when I spotted this Megaboss Ampharos. One of my goals is to defeat a Megaboss, so I stepped up to face the Ampharos and got destroyed. It's at level 100, so my team got demolished one after another. I'll definitely need a better strategy if I want to complete my goal of defeating a Megaboss. Since I used so many balls on Zamazenta, I spent the next 2 days making more Ultra Balls, which involved lots of hammering. But by day 16, we were stocked up on balls, and our team was looking pretty fresh. I was wandering around the base when, out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a shiny Zorua. But then I got closer and realized it wasn't actually a shiny. However, literally right behind it was a shiny Zangoose. This is such a cool looking shiny, but I still need to catch it. And after how my last shiny went, I'm not taking any chances. Zangoose just did not want to get in the ball. It took ages, but by day 17, I finally caught it. With that, we ticked off our second goal, and it felt like my luck was finally starting to turn around. And boy did it, because on the very next day, I found another shiny. And this time, it was the Icon Ferret. I caught it without much trouble, and in no time at all, we've gone from 0 to 2 shinies. That is insane. Before I can add our new shinies to the team, I had to go out and find a Pokemon Center that actually has a PC in it. This took a surprisingly long amount of time, but eventually I found one. I made sure to steal the PC and trade machine, although the latter isn't really going to be helpful since I have no one to trade with. After decking out my house with the new machinery, I added our shinies to the team, and my god, they are beautiful. It turns out that this building behind the village is actually a gym, so I wanted to see if we could earn our first badge. But before I could reach the gym leader, I came across an enemy that was far too strong. Basic parkour. I kept on failing and even died at one point. I was able to get my items back since the gym was right next to the village, but I lost a ton of EXP. Eventually, I made it to the top of the gym and challenged the leader. He Dynamaxes his Staravia, and this thing is huge. It took out my Charmeleon instantly, but it's a pretty anticlimactic fight from here. His Pokemon are all at level 15, so our Ferret was able to walk all over his Pokemon in a pretty quick sweep. We'd gotten our first gym badge, and I proudly put it on display, leaving room for the other 7 that we'll need to collect. At the 20-day mark, here's how our goals were looking. We've made some progress, but there was still a lot to do and time was flying by. I decided that I needed to train up my Pokemon since Charmeleon was still at level 16, but now that we've got Zamazenta, I can level up my Pokemon way quicker by switch training against higher level Pokemon. With this technique, Charmeleon was cruising up the levels. I even managed to beat an epic boss, even if it was only a Sentret. I did catch a few Pokemon who caught my eye, like Sirfetch'd, who has a massive leak sword. After traveling around and gaining some more levels, I decided to take on a max raid because this den had a Caesar in it and I would love to have one of those. The Dynamax raids work the same as in Sword and Shield, but this Caesar was way too strong and we got demolished.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
After catching some awesome Pokemon like Dreepy, Doublade, and Copperajah, I decided to try another raid, but this time against an easier opponent. We took care of the 1-star Cricketot very quickly. After the battle, I tried to catch it and drowned. Wait, what? I think because the raid den was in a lake, I was drowning during the fight, so I respawned back in the village and a Lunala spawned in a raid den right next to me. It's a 5-star raid, and I didn't think we had any chance of beating it. Regardless, I still wanted to try, so I sent out Zamazenta and just spammed Behemoth Bash, hoping for the best. And to my surprise, we were doing okay. We had no right to win, but the NPC Wobbuffet had a wild clutch. Somehow, we actually won against a 5-star legendary raid. And so, all that was left to do was catch it and... Ah, no! I forgot that I lost all my items when I drowned. So I've got no Pokeballs. Why does this keep happening to me? I had no choice but to let the Lunala go, and I was heartbroken. After fishing up my items from the bottom of the lake, I returned to the village. The good news is that Lunala dropped some EXP candies, which I can use to skip some grinding. This allowed Charmeleon to reach level 36, finally evolving into Charizard. Not only is it Game Freak's favorite Pokemon, but Charizard is great because we can fly around on its back. Flying on a Charizard is really cool, and it lets us travel much faster. I used my remaining EXP candies on Zangoose because this lets it learn False Swipe, which will be incredibly useful in helping us catch 200 Pokemon. It had been an eventful few days. The sun rose on day 25, and I was ready to keep pressing onwards. For now, look how small this Farfetch'd is. It's so tiny and adorable, and I need it. Once again, we were running low on resources, so I headed underground and dug up just about everything I could find. This did take a few days, but it's worth it since I got a ton of stuff. On top of that, I also got my hands on some diamonds. Finally! I used these to make a diamond pickaxe and spent way too long mining obsidian. I also found a Clang, which is literally just a Pokemon made of gears, but it was at level 71, so I caught it. With my inventory full, I headed back to the surface and smelted all the materials I dug up, as well as some apricorns from the farm. I wanted to set up an enchanting table, and this house was looking like a pretty good spot. There are 2 people living here, but since this is the world of Pokemon, I just have to beat them in a battle, and legally I can do whatever I want. So Zamazenta served up the eviction papers, and I peacefully got them to leave. I crafted the enchanting table and found a nice spot for it, but now I needed bookshelves. And what's the best way to get books in Minecraft? Of course, flying to the neighboring village and pillaging every last book they own, as well as some wood. Don't you look at me like that, you saw nothing. Now the enchantment table was assembled, and wow, look at all that
Knowledge.
Oh, and remember that guy whose wall I tore down earlier? Well, you know me, I'm a nice guy, so I decided to fix it up by patching the hole with a fresh new nether portal. Better than ever, right? I'm cold. You are so ungrateful. Anyway, by going through the portal, we can reach the Nether. This place is dangerous, so despite my expert parkour skill, I'll need to be careful. For now, I'm only here to mine quartz, since this gives a ton of EXP. Once I got to level 30, I enchanted my diamond pickaxe and got some sick enchants. Nice. I repeated the process, but this time enchanted a hammer. I got efficiency 4 on it, which means that I can hammer away at Pokeball lids much faster. But my hammer broke, so I decided to pursue an easier way of making Pokeballs. However, it does require some initial work. I had to fly on Charizard until I found a swamp biome. Eventually I got to one and oh my god, it's an adorable little Lotad! Look at the little legs! But we're not here for Lotad legs, we're here for slime balls. Some swamp Pokemon have a chance to drop these, so I wandered around until I found this Krogunk who dropped 2 slime balls and a leftovers. I still needed more, but I found something much better. Another shiny, and this time it's a Toxel who evolves into one of my favorite Gen 8 Pokemon. This is an awesome find. It took a few tries, but I was able to catch it. After getting a few more slime balls and catching a Gligar, I came across a Mega Boss Swampert. One of my goals is to defeat a Mega Boss, so I had to try, and was promptly destroyed. We don't stand a chance at the moment, so that goal will have to wait. I flew home, added our shiny Toxel to the team, and started working on my new Pokeball factory. Turns out I need some cobblestone, but luckily I know just the place to get some of that. At least I closed the door behind me. After crafting my heart out, we had 4 new mechanical anvils. These automatically hammer the lids and bases, which is great. The downside, they are so loud and annoying. After some waiting, we were stocked up on Pokeballs again. It was already day 35 and I'd only caught 20 Pokemon. So I decided to go on an adventure to try and make some progress towards my goal of 200 catches. Damn, look at that tongue action. I had to catch Lickitung after seeing that, as well as a Growlithe because who doesn't love puppies? But then, out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a Mega Boss. It was moving quickly, but I gave chase on the back of Charizard. If I'm going to defeat any Mega Boss, this should be a good chance since Zamazenta resists Beedrill's attacks. Beedrill was still doing huge damage. However, Zamazenta held on just long enough, finishing off the last of Beedrill's HP with a quick attack. With that, we defeated a Mega Boss, completing yet another goal. On top of that, we also get a Mega Ring, which lets us Mega Evolve if we have the right Mega Stone. Mega cool. Back to catching. I found a desert where I spent a bunch of time because there are so many cool Pokemon here. First I caught Gibble, which is one of my favorites, followed by a ton of other Pokemon as I was throwing my balls everywhere. This Drapion is so tiny, I feel like I could slip it in my pocket. Gotta catch that. I couldn't resist catching this big and chunky Hippopotas either. Welcome to the team, Moto. After spending a few more days in the desert catching everything with a pulse, it was time to move on to a new area. While flying around, I spotted a strange structure which turned out to have an Arc Chalice inside it. This is used to catch Arceus, but I need all the elemental plates to use it, so it isn't much use to me right now. While searching for my next place to hunt, I came across this weird looking rock with a trainer on top of it. I was trying to figure out what it was, but then the trainer forced me into a battle with a Dynamax Onix. All of a sudden, it clicked. This is the Rock-type gym, and I'm facing the leader. I was not prepared for this. My Charizard is quad weak to Rock, and my Toxel can't even stand up on its own yet. So I switched into Hariyama, who has a decent matchup against Rock-types. I was able to weaken Onix and stall out the Dynamax, but then Lithos switched into the Psychic-type Solrock. I could have taken it out with Knockoff, but Solrock used its hacks to get a lucky flinch with Zen Headbutt. So Hariyama went down. Luckily, Zangoose is up next, and an X-Scissor makes light work of the already weakened Solrock. Archen does some damage to Zangoose, but a Revenge can take it out in one shot. Zangoose does go down to Boldore, but does a ton of damage in the process. I tried to send out Ferret and buff my stats, however, Lithos switched into Onix and used Roar to force me out into my Charizard. It's a bad type matchup, but since Onix has such low special defense, Charizard can take it down with a few Dragon Breaths. From here, Ferret can set up a few coils before slapping around the last few Pokemon, giving us the win and a shiny new gym badge. That's 2 down. I was healing up after the battle when a Groudon spawned. My first Pokemon game was Ruby, so I have a huge soft spot for Groudon and really want to catch it. Eventually, I found the den and this thing is huge. It's a 5-star raid, so I just brought my best Pokemon Zamazenta and I spammed Behemoth Bash over and over. But sadly, my NPC allies were brain dead and basically through. There goes Groudon. Of course I lose when I actually do have Pokeballs. On the plus side, I did find an orb just after, which can help us to potentially catch one of the 3 legendary birds. I flew around for a while until I found this Extreme Hills biome where I was able to catch some awesome Pokemon like Excadrill, Infernape, and Larvitar. Oh, wait, no, I killed that one with a misclick, but at least I was able to catch a Togekiss and a Hitmonlee. Ew, another Chikorita? Do I really have to catch it? Oh, fine. After flying around for ages, I found a Lapras, which is awesome. This was a painful catch because it did not want to get in the ball. It took ages, but eventually I caught the Loch Ness Monster. The next few days were spent flying around looking for loot inside these hidden grottos. Most of what I found was garbage, but I did find some useful items like 2 ability patches, which should come in handy later on. With my inventory full and my Pokeball stocks getting low, I took the long flight back to the village. It was day 50. We've ticked off a bunch of our goals, but even after that huge catching session, my Pokedex only had 50 entries. We were halfway through the time limit, but only a quarter of the way to meeting my Pokedex goal. This was going to be tough. Our shiny little Toxel is still in diapers, so I decided to evolve it.
Toxel.
Wait, why do you sound like that?
Toxel.
Nice house, guys. It's really looking good. You're welcome. I gave Toxel some candy, which boosted it up to level 32, evolving into Toxtricity, and I gotta say, this is an incredible looking shiny. I wanted to take our new Toxtricity out for a spin, so flew around and eventually found a water-type gym. Wow, that puzzle looks really hard. Luckily, I'm a parkour pro, but sheesh, that was tough. This fight was pretty anticlimactic since the gym leader is such a low level. She has a Marshtomp, which I had Charizard help me with, but outside of that, Toxtricity quickly electrocuted her whole team with 1000 volts straight to the jaw. That's our third badge secured. Back to catching Pokemon. I flew around looking for a new area and came across this tiger biome. I swear, this is just a place where they put all the lame Pokemon. Here I was able to catch all kinds of heavy-hitting fan favorites like Nincada, Squavit, Grubbin, Pineco. Okay, Pineco is pretty cool, but you get my point. I caught a few more Pokemon here before... Ah, what the hell was that? Turns out that terrifying sound is a blip bug. I caught it just to shut it up, but then... Ah, another one! Oh god, they're after me! Get me out of here! Not wanting to be Blipbug's next meal, I left the forest and continued my quest. Soon after, I spotted a Skarmory again. You're not getting away this time. Sweet, sweet revenge. I also caught a Yamper because, well, puppies. This Starly was bouncing around and it felt like I was being mocked. So I showed it who's boss by shoving it inside a Pokeball for the rest of its days. Wait, I have so many questions. How did this Krabby even get up here? Can you fly? Over the next few days, I caught a bunch of Pokemon and even ran into another Larvitar, which I didn't accidentally kill this time, but I was having a lot of trouble catching it. See, I burned all my Ultra Balls like an idiot trying to catch this Wingull with a trick shot off the back of my Charizard. So I only had Quick Balls left, and I was not having any luck. I was wasting so much time and so many Pokeballs. In the end, I said screw it and decided to deal with Larvitar another way. Say hi to the other Larvitar I killed. I feel like I'm interrupting some kind of Drillbur meeting that's going on here. Another one! Stupid Larvitar, get in the hole! My god, he's too smart! Ah, I hate these things! Since my Charizard was knocked out, I had to do a salty walk all the way home. I won't forget this, Larvitar. After that long trip, my Pokedex was sitting at 70 Pokemon caught. We still had a lot to go, but for now, I was out of Pokeballs and needed to restock. While on my way out of the mine, this jerk was blocking the exit. Turns out it was a Mega Boss Sableye, so I decided to battle it. And this went well. Zamazenta could tank its attacks, and a few Behemoth Bashes were able to give us the win. Our reward was a Mega Stone, as well as a Lucky Egg. Maybe this was a sign that good fortune was just around the corner. After enchanting another pickaxe and getting an awesome pick, it was back to mining. Well, let me just grab this iron and... Ow, ow, ow! Pause. How do you think this went down? Did I A, calmly reach for my water bucket and put out the flames, or B, hit the panic button and miss my water bucket altogether? Well, I sat there like an idiot, burning alive while trying to eat potatoes, and died in the lava. I went back to see if any item survived, and of course, my water bucket survived, which is insulting. I lost all my XP, 2 fully enchanted picks, and a bunch of quick balls. Why am I like this? I still needed resources, so used what I had left to make some new tools and a few Pokeballs. I won't be making the mistake of not having any again. I also subbed Lapras into the team for Hariyama, since this gives us good coverage and I just love Lapras. So we set off to find resources, but this time I had a different strategy. Instead of strip mining underground, now I was flying up high on Charizard to scout for ravines. These ravines have plenty of exposed ores, which makes finding them much more idiot-proof since there's less chance of falling into lava. My plan was to collect enough resources on this trip to last me for the rest of my 100 days, so I spent a lot of time clicking rocks. Oh, and while exploring, I found another Larvitar, but this one was only level 6, so I was confident I could actually catch this one, and I did. Third time's the charm, I guess. Ah, Yamper! No! Whew, being a hero is hard work. After more ore collecting, I found an abandoned mineshaft. What Pokemon is this? Finding the mineshaft is exciting since there are chests scattered throughout, and these can have some incredibly rare loot. But I kept hearing this weird groan. I turned my headset up to 11 and followed the sound until I found the source, and it was a Relicanth at the bottom of a cave. I caught it just so I don't have to keep listening to it. Turns out there's a hole in the ceiling that was pushing down a bunch of water Pokemon from the ocean above. They were all stranded and I felt a little bad, so I quickly caught them all. I spent ages exploring the mineshaft and did get a ton of ores, but honestly, I didn't find any good loot. A few evolution stones, but nothing too crazy. Big sad. Ah, another Pokemon on fire! I'll save you! Another life saved thanks to... You idiot! Why did you go back? I couldn't save him, damn it. F's in the comments for Bunnelby. Imagine dying to lava though, that's kinda cringe. Anyway, once my inventory was full, I busted through to the surface, surfed on my Lapras before taking to the skies on Charizard. It was a long trip, but it was totally worth it since we'd gotten tons of resources, including 7 stacks of iron, which would be plenty to last the rest of our 100 days. I also enchanted a Silk Touch pickaxe so we can get stone for buttons really quickly. This helped me to craft an absolute war chest of Pokeballs. So here's the rundown. Thus far, we've completed all of our goals except for the Pokedex and gym badges. So it was a race against the clock. We had only 30 days left to catch over 120 Pokemon and obtain 5 more gym badges. It was going to be tough, but I was ready to push right up until the final day. I flew around in search of some new environments until I came across this Ice-type gym, and this is perfect since we have a beast of a Steel type in Zamazenta. I tried to lead with Charizard, but the levels of the gym leader's Pokemon are set to equal my highest, so Charizard didn't hang around long against Dynamax Abomasnow. Ferret and Toxtricity both fell in a single turn each, but their sacrifice wasn't for nothing as it stalled out the Dynamax. But from here, it's Zamazenta's time to shine, and a string of super effective Behemoth Bashes from our Steel Dog is enough to earn the Iceberg badge. 4 down, 4 to go. Since I have a Silk Touch pickaxe, I crafted an Ender chest and put some healers and PCs in there, basically giving me a portable Pokemon Center in my pocket. I went back to catching and found a roofed forest biome, although there's so many trees here that it's hard to see any Pokemon, so I wanted to get rid of them. And what's the best way to get rid of trees in Minecraft? That's right, Charizard's flamethrower. We turned the forest into a giant inferno. I spent the next few days catching a ton of Pokemon here, but I forgot to record it. If you're curious, these are the 34 Pokemon I caught, including one very sus one. By day 75, I was back to searching for new areas to explore and found this Steel-type gym. We haven't had much trouble with gyms thus far, so I was feeling pretty confident. What a fool I was. I got destroyed, choked, and slapped by the gym leader. I couldn't even make it past his first Pokemon Metagross. This is terrifying because I've only got 25 days left to beat 4 more gyms and I'm already struggling with this one. At this point, I realized that Zamazenta was actually holding me back. Since the gym leader's Pokemon are all equal to my highest level, Zamazenta was raising the enemy's levels to a point that they were just way too strong for any of my other Pokemon to stand a chance. So what's the plan? Well, I needed to build a new team of strong Pokemon that are all around the same level. So I began my search. I still caught new Pokemon that I came across to help with my Pokedex, but I was focused on finding strong Pokemon. And I felt pretty good about the team I assembled. Through evolution, I was able to get a Gyarados, and this one has the Moxie ability, which is awesome. It also learned Dragon Dance, meaning this guy has some insane sweeping potential. Those days I spent in the abandoned mineshaft weren't wasted because I used the Dusk Stone I found there to evolve my Doublade into Aegislash, followed by a Water Stone to evolve Shelder into Cloyster, who I made sure has the Skill Link ability. With my upgraded team, I headed back out into the world in search of gyms. Eventually, I found a Ground-type gym which is perfect. I basically used Jigglypuff and Aegislash as fodder to stall out the Dynamax turns, but once that's taken care of, I can use a nutty strategy. Since my Cloyster has Skill Link, my Icicle Spear will always hit the maximum of 5 times. Combine this with a Choice Scarf, and Cloyster becomes a demigod. Since ground is weak to ice, our Cloyster can rip through most of the leader's Pokemon without any trouble. That gives us the Earth Badge. And straight after, I found another gym, this time specializing in fire types. I switched up the team a little bit for this one, bringing in Excadrill and my new Crocodile. The strategy this time was pretty similar. Stall out the Dynamax using Excadrill and Aegislash. This clears the way for Gyarados to come in, and it's here where things get spicy. I have Gyarados use Dragon Dance twice, boosting my attack and speed. And Aqua Tail can then finish Camerupt, which also activates my Moxie ability, boosting my attack even more. This gives me some insane momentum, as each KO gives me more stat buffs. With an absolute onslaught of Aqua Tails, Gyarados goes Super Saiyan, decimating every single fire type on the leader's team. Quick and clean, that's 6 badges down. I still needed to catch about 80 Pokemon, so I shifted my attention back to that goal and set off to find new areas. It took forever, but finally I found some snow. This is huge for my Pokedex since there are squillions of ice types here that I haven't seen before. So I got to work and caught everything with a pulse. Most notable are the literal ice cream and a Spheal. It's so cute. I need one. I also found a frozen shrine, which I can use to summon Articuno with the orb I found earlier, but sadly, I don't have enough time left in my 100 days to pursue that. This den had a legendary Glastria just chillin', pun intended, inside, and surprisingly, we actually beat it. This is awesome because it means we can catch another legendary and, oh, never mind then. As a consolation prize, at least I caught a Magnemite right after. Yay! There's something about a Dynamax Piplup that looks so cute yet so deadly. After catching a Larpeny for all the simps out there, I'd obtained pretty much every Pokemon from the snowy area. So I moved on to a forest when a legendary Zacian spawned. It would be perfect to catch it and complete my Galarian dog duo. But I couldn't find the damn thing. There are so many trees here hiding it, and I think it despawned. F's in the chat. At least I was able to catch the walking lettuce, Bulbasaur. That's just as cool, right? After slowly losing hope that maybe Zacian was still here, waiting for me, I took to the skies once more until I eventually found a jungle. But there are so many trees here, how could I possibly get rid of? Oh yeah, that's much better. With the jungle peacefully neutralized, now I could easily spot a ton of new Pokemon to catch. There are some adorable monkeys here, like Apom and the ultra rare, certified best Galar starter, Grookey. Never mind. Grookey was gone by the time I got back to the jungle. However, I was able to catch a few more Pokemon here as a consolation prize. I began a long flight home, but on the way, I found another Steel-type gym. The last time I battled one did not go well, so I was hungry for revenge. I switched the team around to give me a better matchup before challenging the leader. The start of the fight was strange, because Skarmory Dynamaxed but only used Max Guard for all 3 turns. The leader then switched into Caesar and fell right into my trap. It did take Wobbuffet out, however, only after I set up Destiny Bond, meaning Caesar also fell. His Magneton made light work of Torkoal before I unleashed Crocodile. The combination of the Choice Scarf and Stomping Tantrum allowed me to pick up 2 quick KOs on Magneton and Aggron. From here, the rest of my team was able to clean things up, giving us our 7th badge. We had less than 10 days remaining and still needed to get another gym badge and catch another 34 Pokemon. It was tight and coming right down to the wire. Go time. My plan was to find the final gym first and then worry about the Pokedex. Luckily, it didn't take long before I stumbled across the Bug-type gym. And if there's anything I'm good at, it's starting fires. Honestly, this gym was light work. Our starter Charizard melted down the leader's Forretress and took care of Volcarona with Air Slash. This set the tone as my fire types tore the place down. With one final Flare Blitz, Infernape crushed Vespiquen, and now we'd earned our final badge, completing another one of our goals. And things were about to get even better, because right outside the gym was a Mega Boss Caesar. This battle was tough, and my team was getting destroyed. But a lucky burn onto Caesar, as well as Aegislash's King Shield, helped me to slowly whittle it down. And for taking it out, we were rewarded handsomely, because I got a Park Ball. This is basically a Master Ball, so it's amazing to have one up my sleeve. But the clock was ticking. It was day 95, and I still had to catch 33 more Pokemon. This wouldn't be easy, because as I fill up the Pokedex, it gets harder and harder to find new Pokemon. My first idea was to head into the Nether, and this ended up being a great decision. I quickly found a handful of new Pokemon, which added a few pages to my Pokedex. I spent a day there, but now I only have 22 more Pokemon to catch. I spent the next day traveling around, gradually finding new Pokemon, but progress was slow. Although my numbers did get a bump when I caught a little Tepig, only to find a bigger Tepig right beside it. And then this happened. Another legendary spawned, and this time I actually found it. I was having no luck catching it, but just before Entei obliterated my team, I whipped out my Pokeball trap card, which guaranteed the catch, giving us an awesome legendary and another Pokedex entry. The sun rose on day 97, and while I was moving at a snail's pace, we were getting there. I found this beach, which had a few new Pokemon, including this little guy who has a shovel sticking out of its head. Shouldn't you go to the hospital? With time dwindling down, I continued searching for new Pokemon. You don't really look like a Pikachu, but I'm pretty desperate, so close enough. Now get in the Pokeball. I couldn't catch that Pikachu for some strange reason, but I did find a Suicune. I was in a rush, but I couldn't bear to not even try to catch it. So I decided to shoot my shot and actually caught it. This was insanely lucky, and now we had all three legendary dogs. The water type, Suicune, the fire type, Entei, and most deadly of all, the electric type, Yamper. As day 99 started, I needed only 5 more Pokemon when an Arceus spawned in a nearby den. I desperately wanted to catch this, but it's an Arceus and my raid group has a Magikarp, so we got demolished. However, by exploring the surrounding area, I was able to catch the last few Pokemon we needed, with an Electabuzz giving us our 200th Pokedex entry on the evening of day 99. And so the sun rose on day 100 and we'd barely completed all of our goals. But there was one thing left to do on my final day. I started this challenge with a battle against my rival, Pikachu. So I felt it was only fitting to end with a rematch. After Charizard carefully removed the obstructing forest, I sought out my rival, Pichu. And with one flamethrower, Charizard cooked Pichu medium well, ending our 100 days with some sweet, sweet revenge. Jump into this video next for more Pokemon content. Did you spot the shiny that I missed? Like the video for more Pixelmon content, and I'll see you in the next one.